this first video here is going to be about the Carnifex. The Carnifex is awesome. I know first reaction from a lot of people when the new codex came out, and even still now, is that the Carnifex is not really worth it anymore. A lot of people online are just, I'm just going to convert my Carnifex to Tervagons, or convert my Carnifex to Tyranifex, or something like that. Honestly, the Carnifex's points went from something like, what was it, like 80 or 95 points or something like that base to 160 base. So it has almost doubled. For the doubling of points, you get a few things, but only a few things. You get Living Battering Ram rule, which when you charge you get +2 initiative, so he can go simultaneously with things like Imperial Guard, Witch Hunters. That doesn't really matter. What really matters with Living Battering Ram is that you go before Power Fist. If you go before Power Fist with a squad of Carnifex, you can decimate. Carnifex now can be taken in squads of 3 instead of just 1, which is amazing. If you really decked out Carnifex, a squad of them, you could probably get them up to somewhere around 750 points, maybe more, for just a squad of 3 of them. I certainly wouldn't recommend it, but consider the fact that a squad of 3 Carnifex for 750 points is only 1 kill point. So, if you're going for a kill point match and they have to gun down these 3 Carnifex and waste half their army shots on it for half the game, they've only gained 1 kill point while you've been sitting around popping rhinos or something, and you got triple what they got, and you only killed 150 points worth of stuff. So, Carnifex are, in my opinion, are good for that reason. They have Strength 9, which instant death on Space Marine characters is amazing. If you're fighting other Tyranids, instant death on things like Warriors. They have the Feed rule, which is really good. So you're out of Synapse, they still go towards the nearest enemy. Aside from that, they don't really come with anything extra stock that they didn't before. They're still fearless. So, I mean, they're pretty much what they were. Toughness 6, 3+ save, except you can no longer upgrade their toughness and their save, which used to be really good. Because when you upgrade them to Toughness 7, then Strength 3 can no longer hurt them in close combat, which was really fun to do against some people. But so stats are no longer really upgradable in the new Tyranid Codex like that. They can take Adrenal Glands, which are awesome, gives you another +1 initiative, and also gives you +1 strength when you charge. So you're going to Strength 10, instant death on Strength, Toughness 5 creatures or characters, and you go at Initiative 4, which is Simo with Space Marines. So, I mean, that's pretty good. Can't ask for much more with the Carnifex. Used to be, I think, Initiative 2. So, now, Carnifex comes with 2 sets of Scything Talons stock. In case you don't know, the new Codex, Scything Talons are, if you have 1 set, they no longer give you plus attacks. You don't get any bonus attacks for Talons anymore. If you have 1 set of Scything Talons, you get to reroll any 1s you roll on the to hit in close combat. If you have 2 sets, you basically get Preferred Enemy. You get to reroll all of your misses. Honestly, rerolling all of your misses is amazing. If you're charging a vehicle that moved 12 inches, you need 6s, you get to reroll everything that's not a 6 with your Carnifex. That's just beyond awesome. You could give them 1 set and some Crushing Claws. Crushing Claws are D6 attacks. But honestly, on average, you're going to roll 3.5. Out of that, you're going to roll... Usually, a typical roll for Carnifex is they're going to need a 4+, unless you're fighting Tau. So you're going to be doing 1.75 additional hits with Crushing Claws, on average. With Scything Talons, with 2 sets of them, you're going to be doing an additional 1 attack, on average, because you're getting 4 attacks. Making 2, rerolling 2, getting 1 more. So you'll be hitting with 3 instead of 4 with Crushing Claws on average. So why in the world would, I mean, why waste the points on the Crushing Claws? Crushing Claws are 25 points. If you have a squad of 3, that's 75 points for 3 additional hits. I'd rather spend those 75 points on something else in my army. Zoanthrope are really cheap. Get a Zoanthrope with them instead. The options for them are pretty basic. Twin-Link Deathspitters or Devourers. Stranglethorn Cannon, sorry. A Heavy Venom Cannon. They're all pretty decent weapons. Stranglethorn Cannons make people take pinning tests if they take casualties. The Heavy Venom Cannon's now a blast. Nothing really is going to do a whole lot of wounds there. In my opinion, nothing's going to do as many wounds as you getting into combat. So, I would always recommend take Double Scything Talons with your Carnifex. Double Scything Talons. It's free. You're hitting an average of 3 when you don't charge. 3 hits per Carnifex. I mean, you get a squad of 3 of those, that's 9 on average. That's enough to kill almost a whole squad of Space Marines. And what are the odds they're not going to get, overrun after that? As far as the options go, you have Frag Spines, Adrenal Glands, Toxin Sacs, Bioplasma, and Regeneration. Frag Spines, I always would take. 5 points. 5 points to make you have Assault Grenades. So you would charge through cover into somebody. You still get your Initiative 3 instead of Initiative 1. You need everything you can get to not make your Carnifex go at Initiative 1. If your Carnifex is Initiative 1, Power Fists are going to mess them up. And you don't want that. You always want to go first. Adrenal Glands, something to consider if you want to go Simo at Initiative 4 on the charge. Typically, I wouldn't go with them. You have the option for Toxin Sacs, which, unless I'm mistaken, are completely worthless on a Carnifex. Let me look it up really quick. Because I thought I looked it up, and Toxin Sacs make you always wound on a 4+, which, why would you ever want that for a Carnifex? Seeing as their base strength of 9. And what in the game is toughness 10 again? Yes, a Tyranid with the Toxin Sacs biomorph. All of its close combat attacks become poisoned 4+. I honestly don't understand why that's even an option on here. The only thing I can think of is that they meant to do Toxic Miasma, but yeah, I just don't get it. Why would you want Toxin Sacs on your Carnifex? If you know this, if you know the answer to this question, please tell me, because for the life of me, I cannot think of a reason why I would want my Carnifex to wound on a 4 when they could still wound a Wraith Lord normally on a 3. So, yeah. Never take Toxin Sacs. Bioplasma is 20 points. It's pretty good. I had it on my original list, but saving 60 points a squad and encouraging me to run instead of shoot was really more worth it for me. And Regeneration. My thoughts on Regeneration are it's awesome because you get to roll for all of your wounds that it's taken throughout the whole game. So if you're down 3 wounds on a Carnifex, you get to roll 3 dice at the beginning of every turn, as long as he still has 3 wounds. Any 6s, he gets 1 back, which is sweet. But by the time you give it to all the monstrous creatures in your army, and by the time you roll for it a whole game, if you're super lucky, you'll have gotten something like 4 wounds back. If you take all those points from Regeneration, you could have just bought more monstrous creatures and ended up with more wounds left in the end anyway. So I personally don't really like Regeneration. So yeah, Carnifex. Always run them, in my opinion, always run them in a squad of 3. Always 3 Carnifex, always double Scything Talons, always Frag Spines. And you just run them towards your enemy. You always want to get the charge if you can. You don't want to get charged, because then you're not at Initiative 3, and if they're charging you, then they obviously think it's something that can either take you or tie you up. And you don't want that. You don't want to get charged by a squad of Terminators with Thunderhammer Storm Shields. If you are going to have to deal with them anyway, charge some Gaunts into them first, and then charge with the Carnifex, so the Carnifex can't be targeted during the first round. I'll go through some more tactics with all of these later. For now, though, I'm just going to go over the unit and the unit selections and the options for them. So look forward to some combos involving some Carnifex in the future.